Let's talk about something that frustrates a lot of people in experiential marketing, but rarely gets explained clearly. Why some brand ambassadors stay invisible even when they're good at what they do. They show up on time, they do the job, they're professional, they care, and yet they don't get picked first. They don't get the better opportunities, they don't get the higher pay. This can feel confusing, and if you're not careful, it can start to feel personal. So let's slow this down and talk about what's really happening. Because invisibility in this industry is rarely about skill, it's about signal. Being good is not the same as being seen. One of the biggest misunderstandings in experiential marketing is this: people assume that doing a good job automatically leads to more opportunities. And sometimes it does, often it doesn't. Not because agencies don't care, but because agencies are managing a lot at once. They're juggling multiple clients, multiple events, multiple cities, multiple timelines. They don't have time to deeply evaluate every single person after every event. So instead, they rely on patterns. Patterns are how people become visible. How agencies actually remember people, they don't remember talent the way talent remembers events. You remember the long day, the conversations, the effort. Agencies remember who was easy to work with, who communicated clearly, who didn't need hand holding, babysitting, who reduced stress. That's it. Not who worked the hardest, not who smiled the most, not who tried the most. Visibility comes from ease, not effort. Here's why hard work alone doesn't create visibility. This is a hard truth for people who care. You can work very hard and still be invisible if your effort doesn't translate into clarity. If agencies don't know what you're good at, what roles fit you best, or what kind of events you prefer, they don't know where to place you next. So they default to what's familiar. Visibility requires definition. Invisibility is often a clarity problem. Most invisible brand ambassadors are not doing anything wrong. They're just undefined. They say yes to everything, they take every role, they don't differentiate themselves. So agencies don't know how to categorize them. And in busy systems, what can't be categorized gets overlooked. This isn't about branding yourself aggressively, it's about being clear. The difference between effort and signal: effort is internal, signal is external. You may feel like you're doing a lot, but what is the agency actually seeing? They see your responses, your availability, your communication style, and your consistency. That's your signal. If your signal is scattered, your visibility will be too. Why some people get picked again and again. You've probably seen this. Someone with similar experience keeps getting booked, keeps getting better roles, keeps moving up. It's not luck, it's pattern recognition. Agencies think, I know what to expect from them. Predictability creates trust, period. Trust creates visibility. Invisibility and over availability. Here's a quiet contributor to invisibility: being too available. When you say yes to everything, you don't stand out. You actually blend in. You become a filler, not because you lack value, but because you haven't signaled your standards. Boundaries create shape. Shape creates memory. How do you want to be remembered? Why trying harder doesn't fix this. When people feel invisible, they often try to compensate by doing more. More effort, more enthusiasm, more availability. But that rarely works because invisibility isn't about volume. It's about consistency and clarity over time. Trying harder without adjusting signal just creates fatigue. No wonder you're so tired. How visibility is actually built. Visibility is built quietly through clear communication, consistent behavior, intentional choices, and a calm presence. Not through pushing, not through proving, not through chasing. People who are visible in this industry don't demand attention, they become familiar. The role of identity in visibility. This is where identity matters. How you see yourself shapes how you move. If you see yourself as someone who needs every opportunity, you'll move reactively. If you see yourself as someone building a reputation, you'll move intentionally. That internal shift changes everything. Invisibility is not a permanent state. This is important. Being invisible does not mean you failed. It usually just means no one taught you how visibility works here. Once you understand the system, you can adjust. Small changes compound. Practical shifts that change visibility. Here are subtle shifts that matter more than people think. Respond clearly, not emotionally. Define your availability. Be selective when possible. Communicate professionally. Let patterns work for you. And have standards. You don't need to announce these shifts. Agencies will fill them. If you've ever felt invisible in experiential marketing, hear this clearly. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because visibility is built differently than effort. And once you understand that, you stop trying to be seen and start being recognized. If this video helped you understand what's really happening, subscribe for the next one. And if you want structure beyond videos, the links are in the description. Move calmly, move clearly. That's how visibility is built. There's always more.